and both these guys have been arm wrestling for a while. They both have similar styles. They both have that long power hook type match. Ron's a bit faster with speed, but I think Mike's got a bit more experience. Okay, you have Denzel, as I said, in the red shirt, Ralph Schloop in the white muscle shirt. We're getting into the semifinals here, and it takes a bit longer for these guys to lock up because they both know what they want, and it's a bit better of arm wrestler. They've gone through all the preliminaries. Ron is the gentleman in the black. Mike is the gentleman in the white shirt. No, the referees have to pay a bit more attention, too, because these guys know what they're doing. Got to make sure nobody gets away with anything. As I said, and the match starts. They're both in that power hook. Mike's got a bit of advantage here, but Ron's got a strong hook. Ron's trying hard to pull him back in the winner. Mike Morin from Leamington. Ron takes third. Mike goes on to take on Kerry Kunzing in the finals. Coming up to the table now in the men's 151 to 175 pound class, we have Ron Ramsey and Kerry Kunzing. Ron is the gentleman in the black shirt, and Kerry is the gentleman in the white t-shirt. Ron's only been arm wrestling for a little bit here, but he's catching on really quick. Kerry's been arm wrestling for about 2-3 years, I think. Kerry's mainly relies on his speed. If it gets into a long match, it might be a bit toward Ron's advantage. Okay, we had a bit of a jump start here. There wasn't a foul. I just think they just gave him a warning. As I said, it takes a bit longer for these guys to take a bit longer to lock up. They both know what they want to do. You know, Denzel's the head referee for today. He's been around for a while. He represented Canada at the Ohio State Sit-Down Championships and came third at the Canadian Championships a couple years ago. Okay, both these guys look like they want to go into the power hook match. And as I said, Kerry with a bit more speed there wins. Ron Ramsey takes third. Kerry goes on to take on George Zakovitz in the finals. We're having up at the table now in the men's 176 to 200 pound class. We have Randy Kadir and John Manos. John Manos is the gentleman in the white muscle shirt. Randy Kadir will be wearing the black golf shirt. Randy's a member of the London Arm Wrestling team. There's a couple of members of the London Arm Wrestling team arm wrestling today. The London Arm Wrestling team has been around for a couple of years, at least. We have, in the city of London alone, 4 world champions, 7 Canadians, and 8 Ontario champions. Randy Kadir was the Canadian championship back in 1990. He won the Ontario championship in 91. I haven't seen John around too much, but he's given everybody a tough go today, and he could give Randy a go that he could remember. And they're into the power hook right in the center of the table. Randy's got a bit more on his side of the table. Usually the match in arm wrestling doesn't take this long, but if it goes anywhere past 3 seconds, you know it can go anywhere between 2 minutes up to 10 minutes. I've seen a match go myself in Dayton, Ohio, up to 17 minutes. John's pulling strong here. If he knew he was going against the Canadian champion, he'd be proud of himself. And Randy with a hard shot there takes him right over. Randy Kadir wins, goes on to take on Steve Bobber in the finals. John Manos takes third. Now we're going to the men 201 and over heavyweight championship with Denzel Lewis, and will be coming off. Okay, I guess what they did is they skipped over the 201 class because Randy Kadir is pulling two classes there, so they didn't want him to go 2 matches in a row. So we're going to the men's left 0 to 175 and under pound class. We're getting up to the table now. We have Ron Haynes and Jeff King. Both these guys have very strong left arms. Jeff doesn't pull too many right-handed classes, but Ron's just decided to give his left hand a go here today. He's mainly a right-handed puller, but we'll see how he can do. Ralph Schloop has been arm wrestling actually for about 10 years. He's the referee in the white muscle shirt. He's represented Canada a couple times, come second or third. Okay, they're up at the table now. We have Ron Haynes in the black shirt, Jeff King in the white muscle shirt.
And the winner of this?
The winner of this will go on to take on John Thorne in the finals. Remember, this is a double elimination tournament, which means you have to lose twice to be out. Both these gentlemen have lost once today already. John in the A division hasn't lost, so whoever wins this match has had to beat John twice in the finals. Both these guys have a lot of support here today, brought their families along, and it's the best thing for the sport. Everybody brings their family and they have a good time. Just out to have a good time on a Saturday afternoon. And the match has started. They're both in a power hook. Ron's got a bit more on his side of the table. Jeff's holding on strong. Jeff's known for his stamina in the left hand. This is the traditional style of pulling, even going back from the early days. Just two guys get up there and they just go in a hook. No technique, no anything. It's just the guy that wants it more. Jeff's got him more back on his side of the table, but Ron's punching him back. Okay, and we have our first foul in the semifinals. There was an elbow foul. So the elbow foul was on Ron Haynes. The referees are going to start him back over again. Remember, you have to have 2 fouls to lose. If you get 1 foul, you still keep going. Any foul in the losing position is an automatic loss.
Right back at her. I think Randy Kadir taking a while.
These guys have pulled hard all day long. There's been a lot of competitors in the left-handed match, which is very unusual for arm wrestling. Usually everybody likes to pull right hand, but it just seems that this afternoon a lot of people wanted to test out the lefts. Okay, both these guys are starting again. Ron, as I said, has 1 elbow foul. Jeff, they both have that same similar style, just a power hook. And Ron got a bit of a jump there, but Jeff's holding on tough. Let's see if Jeff can bring him back this time. Both these guys seem to be breathing, which is good. The more you breathe during arm wrestling, the better. You got to get some oxygen to those muscles. Jeff's pulling him back tough. Ron's holding on. Jeff's got on top of his body, which is a legal move. And he's pushing down with more of his tricep than his forearm. And the winner, Jeff King. Jeff goes on to take on John Thorne in the finals. Ron Haynes takes 3rd. Now we're going to the men's 201 and over. We have Glenn Fuhrer in the gray muscle shirt, Randy Kadir in the black golf shirt. Both these guys I've met many times before. As I said, Randy's a Canadian and Ontario champion. Represented Canada down in the States many, many times. Came 2nd in Michigan, 2nd in Dayton, Ohio at the sit-down championships down in Ohio that they have annually. Both these guys have a similar style, just a nice power hook. Randy's got a bit more speed than Glenn has. But Glenn is a very powerful competitor. One thing you notice is the baseball hats are turned around backwards. That's so the brim of the cap doesn't catch the opponent in the eye, because when they arm wrestle, they get awful close. Many people attribute that to the over-the-top movie, Sylvester Stallone. Okay, Glenn jumped there, but they just gave him a warning. Both these guys are known for their intensity. And right they go, right in the center of the table. Glenn's got Randy over on his side of the table. He's holding on tough. Randy's known for his stamina, and the winner, Glenn Fuhrer. No, I'm sorry, there was an elbow foul on Glenn Fuhrer. They're going to start over again. What happens when you get tight in that inside style? The pad is just a flat pad. There's no rim to it, so if you start pushing too hard, your elbow seems to shoot out when you're in Glenn's inside style. It's something you got to be careful of in that style. It gives you a lot more strength, but sometimes the elbows go out. Both these guys are friends, it looks like, so just as I said, sportsmanship is a very big thing in this sport. You know, when you're up at the table, you have no friends, but I'm sure when they're done, they'll go out and have a cold drink and talk about what happened up at the table. This is the men's heavyweight class, as you can see by the size of the competitor up there. Randy's pulling 2 classes. He thinks with his experience, he has a good chance to win both. We'll just have to see. And with his speed, Randy Kadir flashes Glenn Fuhrer. Now we'll be going to the men's left 175 and under. Up to the table we'll have Mike Clark and George Zakovich. George Zakovich is one of our referees, but he's opted to pull today too for the London Championship. He has sponsors and stuff that he has to prove his worth to, so And Mike Clark is from the London Arm Wrestling team as well. Both these guys have trained before, so they know what they're doing. It's a bit unusual to see them pull in left hand, but they thought that they'd give it a try today. As I said, it's just good fun and sportsmanship, and just to see who can come out on top. George has been arm wrestling for 20 years. He's been the world championship. He's been the world champion, I'm sorry. He won that down in Costa Rica down in 1983. He's represented Canada many times. He's won Canadian championships, Ontario championships, too many for me to actually count. He's basically known for his speed and technique. He's not much of a power puller, but you never know what happens on a Saturday afternoon.
George was having a pretty hard time here today. He's got a referee and pole.
Mike Clark as well is an Ontario champion. He came first in the international championships a couple weeks ago in Ottawa in the amateur class, which is a popular thing in arm wrestling. You have a pro and amateur class, so the pros get to test their skills, and the amateurs don't have to go up against the pros because it's a bit of a challenge when you've never arm wrestled before to go against somebody who's been a world champion. And, you know, you like to go against somebody who you feel you might have a chance to beat. Okay, and they had a slip there. Looks like George went for the open hand and slip, which means right now they're going back straight up. If you slip twice, you go into a power hook. That eliminates the complete slipping, so you don't slip again, which at times can hurt your arm. And there they go, right in the power hook, and the winner, Mike Clark, with a bit more weight. We're going now to the women's class. Up to the table will be Cassandra Gould and Laura Groshok. The winner of this match will go up to face Barb Schlegel in the finals. Okay, we have Laura up to the table. We're just waiting for Cassandra. Both of these girls don't have too much experience in the sport of arm wrestling. Their husbands are arm wrestling, so they've decided to give it a try. They're competing for the London Championships and the big trophies in the background. One thing I will admit about the women, even though they're not as strong and they don't know as much technique, they don't like to give up. Nobody wants to go up there and lose. This is a tough match in the power hook position. And Cassandra had an elbow foul there. Just as she pinned Laura, her elbow came up. The referee, Ralph Schloop, was looking right at that, so it's sort of hard to hide that. They'll go again. Cassandra gets another foul. She will lose the match automatically. Nobody likes to lose on 2 fouls. If they get beat, they want to be beaten fairly. Here they go into the power hook again. Looks like Cassandra's got a bit more power on her there, and she's pulling her across the table, and the winner, Cassandra Gould. Cassandra going to take on Barb Schlegel, and Laura Groshok will take third. Okay, now it looks like we're going to take a break going into the final championship, so we will be back with you in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to the London Arm Wrestling Championships at Big Bob's. We're going to start with the left 0 to 175 pound class. We have in the A division, John Thorne, undefeated today, and in the B division, Jeff King. Jeff has got to beat John twice because this is a double elimination tournament. John is the gentleman in the bell shirt with a backwards baseball cap. Jeff had a tough match with Ron Haynes in the semifinals, but he's got good stamina in that arm, so it shouldn't affect him too much. And the winner, John Thorne, with a quick match over Jeff King. I'd like to congratulate John Thorne for winning the London Arm Wrestling Championship. I think that's his first actual win at a tournament. We're coming now to the left 175 and over. We have in the A division, Glenn Fuhrer. In the B division, Mike Clark. Mike's got to beat Glenn twice. Glenn's undefeated today. Glenn's the gentleman in the backwards baseball hat, and Mike Clark's in the London Arm Wrestling shirt. We've changed the referees. George Zakovich has gone up now to referee. Denzel Lewis will be pulling in the heavyweight class later. Both these guys have pulled many times before. They have the same similar style, that inside tight hook. This is a left-handed match. I don't see them pull left too many times. As I said before, it's a very unpopular with a right-handed puller because most people are better with the right hand. Okay, and there's a tight power hook. Mike Clark's with a bit more of an advantage, chopping hard, and the winner, Mike Clark. Okay, now what's going to happen here is both these guys now have one loss, So Mike Clark has to come back and beat Glenn again. So you'll see these guys back up in probably about 10 minutes. We're going to go to the women's class next. Up in the A division, you have Barb Schlegel. She won the Canadian International Championships a couple weeks ago and came second at the Canadian Stand-Up Championships last year. She has to go against Cassandra Gould. Barb is probably one of the toughest female arm wrestlers out there. She trains very, very hard and trains very religiously. She also represented Canada in track and field as a long-distance runner. I think Barb might give Cassandra a bit of a break here, knowing that Cassandra has an arm wrestle before. So in a tight match, and there we go. Barb Schlegel, the winner. Congratulations, Barb. Okay, now we're going to go to the 0 to 150-pound match. Kerry Kunzing in the A, Mike Morin in the B. Mike Morin, the gentleman in the gray shirt, has got to beat Kerry twice. So you have Mike in the white shirt, Kerry in the gray shirt. Both these guys have pulled tough at Canadian Championships over the years. I think Kerry's placed a couple times. Kerry's entered in a couple divisions today, so he's had a bit more matches, but as I said, he's been pulling for a long time, so his arm should have the stamina to take him on to victory. But I think Mike Morin has something to say about that. Kerry's actually from the Georgetown area. Mike comes all the way from Leamington. It's a very popular thing in arm wrestling to have sort of like a cult following. Many arm wrestlers will go 6-7 hours just to win a trophy. But that's the beauty thing about the sport. Everybody's friends afterwards. They like to sit down, have a drink, and just enjoy the afternoon. Okay, and Kerry got the jump on Mike, but Mike's holding on tough. They're in the hook position. Kerry's getting a bit extended there, which is against his advantage. And the winner, Mike Morin. Okay, we have another match where the guy in the B division has beaten the guy in the A, so which means that we will see these two guys up again. We're going to the men's 176 to 200-pound class. We have in the B division, Randy Kader. In the A division, Steve Bober. Steve is undefeated today. Randy, as you know, has pulled many classes. I think his arm is beginning to wear out a bit on him here just by his last couple matches. Randy's the gentleman in the black shirt. Steve's the gentleman in the blue shirt. Both these guys have faced each other many times. Steve has got an inside style, which basically means he shifts his body behind his arm. Randy's got more of a quick hit power style, just like he's doing a bicep curl. So we'll have to see what these guys are going to do against each other. And the winner. Okay, what happened was Steve Bober touched his shoulder to his arm. You're not allowed to touch your arm to any part of your body. It's considered an advantage. Randy looked like he went for a top roll, which is basically what Sylvester Stallone did in the movie Over the Top, is where you try to break the opponent's wrist back, which takes away their power. But he got a bit too extended there, and Steve took advantage, but the problem is he took too much of an advantage and touched his arm to his shoulder. So now Steve has one foul against him. He doesn't want to have another one, or it's an automatic loss. This is the finals. You want to get it over as soon as possible and enjoy the victory. And they start again. And the winner, Steve Bober. We're going now to the men's 201 and over heavyweight class. These are the big boys up to the table. I guess I'm sorry. They're jumping around on me here. You're going to the men's 151 to 175-pound class. We're going George Zakovich and Kerry Kunzing. George is undefeated today, so Kerry's got to beat him twice. You have George in the blue shirt, Kerry in the white shirt. This has the potential of being a very quick match. George is known for his speed and his technique. But if Kerry can jump all over him inside, George could have his hands full. George has brought many arm wrestlers into the sport, as in like Ralph Schloop, Denzel Lewis, myself, Randy Kader, sort of brought us all under his wing and tried to teach us to get the new breed into the sport. Both these guys look like they're going for an outside style, staying away from their arms. Carey got a bit of a jump there, but they're not going to call a foul on him. It's just a warning. There was no real advantage taken. Denzel's the head referee for this match. He's the gentleman with the red shirt. Both these guys have like a cult following with them. George has been known as Crazy George Zakovich for years. Gets very, very intense. There's not too many guys out there that get more intense than George Zakovich. Carey out there wants to see if he can bring the intensity level down on George. Show him that he might have been the best at one time, but that time might have been past. Both these guys know what they're doing, so it's taking them a bit longer to lock up. They've known each other for many years. They're friends off the table, and you try to get psyched up at the table, but sometimes it's tough. Okay, and George wasn't quite as fast that match, and they got him in the power hook. They're both pulling outside. Carey looked like he's holding on tough. Looks like he has a bit more advantage on George. George looked like he's getting a bit cocky there. Probably thinks he's got a bit more of a match than what he thought. Seems like the crowd's got a bit more cheering out there for George. And Carey just looks like he hurt his arm or something there and gave up. But the winner, George Zakovich. George likes to play up to the crowd there a bit. You know, when you get to be his age, you need all the help you can get. As I said, George has been around for a long time, so he's got a lot of techniques that he probably still hasn't shown anybody over the years. Looks like we're going. Looks like we're going to the heavyweight class now, which will be Denzel Lewis and Randy Kader. Randy's had many tough matches.
Okay, we need Denzel Lewis.
I think it's taken a bit out of his arm today. We'll find out when he goes up against Denzel. These guys have pulled in the past. I think Denzel's won at least 90% of the matches, but Denzel's got a bit more weight advantage on Randy. Both these guys are Canadian champions. I'm sorry, Denzel came third in Canada. They're both Ohio State champions. Placed highly at the Canadian Championships last year. To be honest with you, these guys are friends, but up at the table, neither of them wants to lose. They both have that mean streak in them when it comes up to the table, and they don't like the person across. It's taking them a bit longer to get locked up because I think Randy knows he's got his hands full against Denzel. Denzel looks to be confident up there.
Trying to make sure they got this right. Got to do it right in the final.
This is the final, so they take a bit longer to lock up. They want to make sure they got their move all prepared and nobody has the advantage. The referees are doing a very good job today. But I think the combined total of years experience in these referees, I think, is like 30. Okay, Denzel's got one side of the table, and Denzel, an easy winner. I don't think Randy could contend with Denzel's body weight. Denzel Lewis can add another victory and another championship to his many repertoire of them. We got two rematches coming up. There's a left-handed rematch and a 0 to 150 hand rematch.
The left-handed heavyweight.
We're going to go to the left-hand heavyweight first. We have Glenn Fuhrer and Mike Clark. Both these guys have one loss, so this is a winner-take-all type thing. Glenn is in the gray muscle shirt. Mike will be in the white golf shirt. The winner will take first. Loser will take second. Third in that match, or that class, was George Zakovich.
Both these competitors have won a match against each other today.
Both these guys have come a long way today. They've both pulled a couple classes. Their arms could be getting tired, but they've both been around for a while. Neither of these guys want to lose at this stage of the game. Even though they're both London boys, they don't like coming out and having their reputation tarnished with a loss. It's going to take them a bit longer to get locked up here. They both know that this is an intense match. Mike Clark is probably known to have one of the best arms for stamina in the sport. He has gone 17 minutes straight in a match down in Dayton, Ohio. Glenn Fuhrer isn't quite a serious arm wrestler, but he's been around for a while. Places well at the smaller tournaments, but he doesn't go too far out of the city. And they started it. And the winner, Glenn Fuhrer, with a good inside move. Mike Clark came second. Third in that match was George Zakovich. Congratulations to Glenn Fuhrer in that match. Now we're coming up to the 0 to 150-pound class. We have Kerry Kunzing, Mike Morin. Both these guys have one loss. Winner takes all in this match. Kerry comes all the way from Georgetown. Mike comes from Leamington. They both traveled a long way. It's off a long ride home when you think you should have won and you get beat.
Everybody having a good time today?
I'd like to thank Big Bob's again for having us out here today. It's a great place to have an arm wrestling tournament. I'd like to thank the referees. They seem to be doing an awesome job. This will be the last match of the day. You have Mike Morin on the right, Kerry Kunzing on the left. Kerry had a quick jump there, but Mike's holding on tough. Mike's got a lot of stamina there. He's been around for a while, but Kerry looks like he doesn't want to let him back up. They're both in that extended pull. Looks like Kerry's elbow's popping out, but the referee's taking a good look to make sure it isn't. Mike looks like he's bringing him back. An inside match, and the winner, Mike Morin from Leamington. Came all that way and didn't want to lose. That was a great match. I'd like to thank the referees today, as I said. George Zakovich, Ralph Schloop, and Denzel Lewis. I'd like to thank Big Bob's for having us out here today for the London Arm Wrestling Championships. I'd like to thank Mark Gardner for having us out. And my name, Mark Salepa. I'd like to thank you all for watching us today, and have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.